My name is Shire George. I'm a psychotherapist and founder of Cultural Minds Therapy. My role is to take therapy outside of the office and to you all at home. I bring to you the mind behind your favourite guests. We speak about mental health, therapy and self-care. Swarzy, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
How are you? On a scale of 0 to 10, this is how I start my interview.
Okay, go.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, how are you feeling? 10 being extremely happy.
I'm a 10, you know. I can't lie. Like, I don't really have anything to be mad about. You've given me snacks and Bakewell tarts, even though cameraman is beefing me about it. But you know, everything is fine. I'm grateful to be on your pod, sis. So thank you so much.
Lovely. Well, thank you for allowing me to interview you. You are sitting on the other chair.
I am.
And you're the interviewer, but now you're the guest. So how does it feel, kind of swapping seats?
It's nice, you know. I've just come from breakfast. I'm on One Extra on Saturday mornings. So it's just nice to think, okay, I've got no buttons, I've got no desk, I'm just sitting here free. So yeah, it feels lovely to know, okay, what have I got to say? I hope that, that the questions you've got, which are great, by the way, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the conversation.
The Last Supper. I have been binge watching on YouTube, The Last Supper. I absolutely love it. Talk to me about the concept, how it came about, and why you're doing this.
Yeah, cool. I love to cook. So that's the first thing. Initially, I was just going to do a supper club because I love to cook. And if any time we're doing gang link up and there's games night, Swaz, the menu will be there. Because to think that someone will come to my house and leave hungry, never. So we're big cooks in the family. Christmas is always big. My dad's a chef, so food has always run through like our blood. We love food. But then at 14, I became a Christian. And so I'm reading the Bible. I'm thinking, right, Jesus really likes to sit down with his friends and have dinner, you know. He actually sits down with some people that you wouldn't think he would sit down at the dinner table with. And that fascinated me about Jesus. Like, he would have dinner with guys. And so I was like, why don't I just blend food and faith, get my friends around the dinner table, crack open the Bible, let's go. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So I pitched it originally, you know, to like BBC Sounds, Spotify, like some of these, you know, big podcast names. And I just think the reception was like, we're not too sure of this faith element. We're not too sure. We love this about you. We love the food, but we can't really see it. And I was like, I've been to so many Bible studies and the refreshments at the end always bang. One auntie is doing puff puff at the end of service. Another auntie is doing cake. It's like food and faith have always gone together. So I thought, I was discouraged, to be honest. I thought they would just be as excited about me and give me the commission, give me grands and be like, okay, Swaz, here's the kitchen, go. But it didn't quite.
Why do you think they weren't on that kind of faith and food? Because we see it in our culture.
Yeah.
But they were like...
I feel like Jesus is someone who, he divides rooms, and I think people don't often know what Jesus has to say. So the minute you throw Jesus, you're like, huh? Jesus at the dinner table? I've never really, I don't know what that looks like. And I was like, all right, no problem. Let me go away and do it. And it was quite empowering to call up, there's so many testimonies, I don't know how long we got, but so many testimonies. Went to Canary Wharf, pitched it. They were like, yeah, we want to get more events in, more young people, more creatives. So sent the deck, said it was a Bible study, supper club, Bible study. So then that's how I fed it through. And they said, why would you want to talk about Jesus? And I was like, it's in the deck, bro. Like, it's very much there. I want to share the gospel. I want to know, what do young creatives who hold their faith as much as they hold their job title, what do they have to say in big 2022 or 2023? They was like, no, we don't think this is going to run, you know. Again, second door closed. I said, Lord, if this thing is not going to fly, tell me now before my heart gets broken any further down the line. They said, we're going to put you in touch with the events people. They'll sort you out. I was like, okay, this is going to be a no from the events people. Get to the meeting to go to the events people now. And this woman, this beautiful, beautiful black woman comes down the lift. She comes to me, she said, I've been stalking you on the gram. I said, oh no, there's bare Jesus on my gram. So like there's loads of that she could see. She goes, oh, I know Ben Lindsay. When I became a Christian, I started going to Ben Lindsay's church. Shouts to Ben Lindsay. Her name is Dorothy, Dot, we call her. And she is fantastic. She said, shall we pray? I said, shall we pray? Yes, let's pray. She goes, right, this is how we should do it. This is how to make Canary Wolf happy. This is the kitchen. This is the kitchen space. I said, Lord, here's the budget. We want you to come in. We want you to do all of this. So we shot 4 episodes, had loads of different guests, loads of different, like, I tried to diversify the menu, but everyone was very much eating the same thing by the end of it. But it was fine. And I just thought, God, you're so kind that doors that were originally closed, you flung open, and not only did you fling open, you flung open with a beautiful kitchen, with money to pay the team, with guests who said yes and amen to it. And so, yeah, the Last Supper Club, man, season 1, it was hard work, I can't lie, but God came through as he always does. And so, yeah, a reminder of his faithfulness, and when he's at the center of, you know, you want to share the gospel. Jesus wants to have his gospel shared. So he's going to make ways in ways that you think, all right, I wouldn't have had it this way, Lord, I wouldn't have predicted it this way, but yeah, you're good. So yeah, thank you very much for showing love to the Last Supper Club. I mean, we need more recipes, we need more guests for season 2, so.
No, you know what, that's an amazing testimony. And I love the fact that you dealt with rejection, but you still came back and you still kind of fought for what you wanted. Because, you know, Jesus needs to be spoken about.
Yeah.
We need to speak about him more in the creative industry. And as a creative yourself, you know, I understand how challenging that environment is, how competitive it is.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're bringing Jesus into it, you're on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And you're going to be doing amazing things. And as I was saying to you off camera, MasterChef. Because your energy, your food, I've been seeing the meals you've been cooking.
Do you know what it is, yeah? You got to start saying things like, oh, you know, curry goat served on a bed of white rice. You got to start, you know what I mean? Like, just tantalising taste buds and saying it in MasterChef ways. But I would love...
Speak into existence.
Yeah, I would love to, you know. I think it's a different scenario, a different pressure, a different way of cooking. But to be honest, my cooking is very much grab a plate, self-service, like, here's the food, and we just sit, people will sit on the floor, people will find one chair. Do you know what I mean? It's very relaxed, but MasterChef comes with master credentials, so I'm hoping that if they call me up, they're ready for the madness that will come, so.
Definitely. I can see you, definitely. I can see you on the MasterChef, and I'm rooting for you, so let's speak it today.
Okay.
And when it happens...
You said it, you called it from Dot, so.
Yes. Black women in the creative space. So what's it like being a black woman working in the creative space? Talk to me a bit about how that's been for yourself.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun in the last 3 years, I'd say. Testimonies on testimonies. I think knowing your voice is powerful and knowing that you've got stuff to say. So a good example would be when I was at KISS. So I started at KISS and didn't start with any radio credentials. So walked into KISS because I won a competition called the KISS Chosen One. That's how I got into radio. Saw faders and buttons and I was like, yo, which is the one that you don't touch to make you go off air? They said, yeah, don't touch this one, don't touch that one. So radio was a dream. Like I fell into an industry that I didn't know anything about, to be honest with you, but my background is hosting. It's youth club. Shouts to Blueprint Youth, shouts to church. All of the skills that I know how to use, they were mastered on a Friday night at 7:30 in Ilford at City Gates at Blueprint Youth. So that's all I have to say about radio. And obviously you learn radio and whatnot. But I think when the pandemic hit and then George Floyd was murdered, there was a lot of chat around what does it mean to be black? What does it mean to have conversations that are both honest and tricky and difficult in big corporations, not just KISS, but across. And so when you come to the meetings and you're like, actually, I don't feel comfortable with this because as a black girl, boom, 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 or because this is all to do with power and dynamics and I think this needs to change. You quickly find your voice because you quickly find your own experiences that have triggered you to lead you to say something in the room. And so KISS was brilliant in the sense that I shared how I felt and I shared what I was happy to do and not happy to do. And it led to conversations where we then did a show called KISS Life. And KISS Life took over Sunday nights, 9 to 10 p.m. and it was pure speech. KISS is unts, right? It's music, music, music. So to kill all of that and to have big conversations about George Floyd or I don't know, vaccinations at the time, or the mayoral debate, or Grenfell, for example, it was like a full 360 to everything that I was doing outside of KISS, to now do it at KISS and be like, wow, this happened because I spoke up, and it was because, by God's grace, I was bold enough to say, this can't run, you know, or I'm not happy about this, or that is a great way to do something, let's fly with that. So I give God thanks for the people that I was working with, Shakes of Ray Paul and like the Playmaker group who came in and independently produced it. And to not only be black in the industry, but to get other black voices, other black people to say, this is my experience. And it may be different to mine, but that's cool because we're not one big experience. Like there's so many different ways that you can look at it. So yeah, that would be great. I'd say there's other situations where I was on a tour. I was on a tour, a school's tour, like maybe 2 years ago or so, and I went to Blackpool. And they sent me to Blackpool because the schools were in Blackpool. So Sunday night, get off the train, get to Blackpool station. It's 9 o'clock, it's raining, it's doing one Mary J. Blige music video. All of the rain, cool. So I'm standing outside now, I'm thinking, rah, I got no Uber service out here, so I'm gonna have to call Blackpool cab service to come pick me up and take me to the hotel. So the man was like, yeah, call the number, I'll be there in 5. I said, cool, no problem. Let me stand and just, you know, face my front. So I'm now standing at the front of the station, and one cabman pulls up. I was like, rah, quicker than 5 minutes, you know. So I go up to his window. I was like, hi, are you here for Swarzy? Well, actually, I said Fran because my full name, the short name, is Fran. So I said, are you here for Fran? Because probably my guy couldn't handle Swarzy. So I was like, are you here for Fran? He goes, yeah. At this time, I just had my hair done. My hair was beautiful in braids. I was feeling cute. I got up to me, he was like, yeah, chuck your stuff in the boot. So he gets out, I've opened the boot, I've put my suitcase in the boot, and he comes around and goes, whoa, what do you think you're doing? And I was like, you said you were here for Fran, I'm putting my stuff in the boot. He goes, I don't take people like you know.
Wow.
I said, what? He goes, you better book yourself another cab. I do not take people like you. Get your stuff out of my cab right now. And I said, yo, I'm very, very far from home. I'm outside Blackpool station. I've got no friends. My mum's in London. You know them ones you're like, Mum, come pick. She's like, I can't help you. Anyway, by God's grace, there was a guy behind me who watched the whole thing. The next cab that pulled up, he stopped it and said, listen, mate, me and this girl are going to the same hotel. You better take me and her. I don't want to hear no problems. And now you're like, rah, well, I'm a young girl. I'm a young black girl in Blackpool with this guy who's been very kind. Don't even know him. What option do I have? Because no one was going to come and pick me up. Anyway, it turns out he was lovely. He paid for the cab as well, and he said, I can't believe that happened. And I thought, you can't believe. I can very much believe this had happened. This doesn't shock me. This doesn't surprise me. Like, I'm out of ends, and your cab driver thinks it's cool to tell people that he doesn't take a certain type of people. So then I complained, and of course, what do you get? I'm sure he didn't mean it like that. I'm thinking, well, first of all, you're denying my story, but now you're denying whatever I'm feeling and saying to you is true. Oh, no, he must have meant it another way. And so you're silenced, and guess who has to go to work the next day and pretend it didn't even happen? Me. And so at one point, you just got to be like, shake it off, dust it off, keep it moving. But inside, you're like, why doesn't anyone believe you when you say these things? And so to pull it around full circle, when you are in rooms, the KISS rooms or the BBC rooms or whatever rooms, and you bring stories like that and then they listen and they do something about and they give you a show to talk about it, you feel really empowered because you're not silenced. And so yeah, I would just say it's tricky, it has its ups and downs, it will come at you all sorts of ways and take you off guard, but I've just learned that there's power in my voice and there's power in giving other people a voice and a platform as well. So by God's grace, to keep on doing that, I think it just offsets whatever madness goes on.
That's wow. What's going through my mind right now? I think of so many different things. First of all, racism is going through my mind. And then I want to also touch on, because you say Swarzy, but then your real name is...
Françoise Adele McKelly.
But is it Swarzy that means freedom? Am I right?
Yes, Swarzy or Françoise means free one.
Okay.
Swarzy don't mean nothing because Swarzy is a nickname, so Swarzy can mean whatever I want it to mean, I guess. But yeah, Françoise means free one or freedom, which I didn't even realize until I got with Chico, my fiance, and his family are from Zimbabwe. So the naming ceremony for kids and what names mean and the weight they hold. When I'd gone to his sister's baby shower, I heard such a beautiful proverb that says your name is like a basket and it carries you through life. And so it's important to know its meaning. And I hadn't really taken much consideration as to what my name meant, but to know it does mean freedom, it's very fitting. Like I do feel free. I do feel very much like, yeah, there's joy in freedom and I'm big on joy. So yeah, that's what my name means.
And you've definitely got that energy of freedom. I want to bring you back though to the cab situation. What made you kind of say Swarzy, Francis? What kind of?
Because I know already that this guy is going to be like, Swarzy what? Like, he's not going to get it. And so even to read my name, you're always thinking, does my name help or hinder me?
Wow.
If it hinders me from getting from A to B, let me just go with Fran, because it's raining, it's 9 o'clock at night, I'm in Blackpool, I don't know people here, I just need to get to safety. And so the fact that it wasn't even my name that hindered me, it was my braids, and it was whatever else he had going on in his life, I thought, oh, okay, this is another step behind. Even in school, I was very conscious of how difficult people find pronouncing my name. One teacher just straight up was like, I can't say your name, I'm gonna call you Charlotte.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And I was like, you know them ones when she's now calling the register, calling Charlotte, and you're not answering, she sends you out of class, and now you're in detention, and now you've got to tell the head of year, oh, I didn't answer because she wasn't saying my name, and he's baffed. And it's only until my mum came in, and imagine it was parents' evening that day as well, I said, yo, how can I be in detention on parents' evening? My mum flipped, she flipped out, and she was just like, this is ridiculous. What do you mean you're calling my girl Charlotte? You're not even making an effort, like, this is ridiculous. But unless you have someone fight in your corner, imagine if my mum really came to every meeting, every email. You know the worst one is when people reply to your email and misspell your name.
Yeah.
My name is in my email address and it's in my signature. How are you misspelling my name? What am I gonna do, CC my mum in and get her to write firefight email? You can't, so you quickly learn, okay, my name and the pronunciation of it, I can't be asked for headache some days. Other days, I will pull you up. But today with Mr. Blackpool Cabman, I said,
Took the chance.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Took my chances and I still lost anyway with him. So yeah, names are beautiful and I think that we should take much pride and care in not only our own names, but in the names of other people as well.
Yeah, definitely. And in regards to your name, have you ever experienced any difficulties in that creative space? Because we have heard a lot about people in that creative space with their names being said wrong or spelled wrong, and they have to kind of fight for their rights.
Yeah.
And really say, you know, this is my name or hashtag my name is. Have you ever experienced that in the creative space?
My flip is, because I do so many events and hosts and panels and everything, I always put it as a staple on any email I get. Please could you let me know how to pronounce the panelists' names, and please could you write it phonetically, because often you can say for a name like Siobhan is written Sioban. You wouldn't off the script be able to think, oh, I know how to say Siobhan. So equally with mine, my name is Swarzy, Stormzy, Swarms. I'm getting every name under the sun and I'm like, it's Swarzy. But to be fair, not everyone is familiar with my name. So in the pro sense, I'm the only Swaz I've ever come across. So I don't ever have trouble being mistaken for someone else. But I think the pronunciation and yeah, you get into accents and regional accents and all the rest of it. But a good tip is asking people, how do you phonetically spell your name and how do I pronounce it? And even if it takes me a while to say it in front of them, are you happy? Are you happy with how I'm saying your name? Because if you're not, I know what that feeling feels like. I've been butchered too many years and I don't want to be on big panel and then be getting your name wrong. So I think, yeah, just be confident. And I think people really appreciate when you say to them, how do I pronounce your name? And let me get that right. And are you okay with me saying it like this or like that? Or, you know, so I think because I know how it feels, you extend the same grace and people receive it well. So yeah, no trouble whatsoever. And if someone does mistake my name for something else, I just lovingly say, oh, actually, my name is pronounced like this. And sometimes they still get it wrong. But most times, it's been okay.
I love how you mentioned about how you would politely say, oh, my name is actually this. Mm-hmm. Because for me, when I was growing up, people used to call me Sinead.
Oh, okay.
And it got to a point where I was like, yeah, Sinead. I used to say, yeah, my name is Sinead.
Yeah. You start adopting it. Yeah.
People would accept me for that name. Mm-hmm. When I used to say Sinead,
yeah.
Lemonade, Chardonnay.
Oh, adding letters. Yeah.
It got to a point where I was like, no, Sinead, that's my name. And then I kind of grew in confidence with that. I kind of went the way with, no, this is my name. This is how you pronounce it. So I guess everyone's got a story to tell about their name, especially if their name is maybe difficult to pronounce or difficult to say. Yeah. We all have our story, and I hope that from this conversation, we can help more black girls. If you have a name that's unique and different, feel comfortable and confident.
Absolutely.
If people get it wrong, to say, oh, my name is...
Yeah.
Say your name with confidence.
With chest,
Say
yeah.
your chest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that this conversation will help them with that.
Absolutely.
How important do you think it is to talk about mental health when it comes to healthy conversations?
Absolutely. I think mental health has just become such a normal part of the conversation. People even come into work and they're like, oh, my mental's in the drain, or my mental's cool today, or I don't feel as though it's got such a weight to it like maybe it would have done before. And that's great. Like, it really, really is great. And I think even for my own self, having language around feelings and there's an emotion wheel that gives you more, gives you a variety of words other than fine, okay, good, stressed. Because sometimes you just don't know how to articulate how you feel. And if you can pinpoint, boom, 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 on this emotion wheel, you find yourself to be understood better as well. So I hate being misunderstood. It is one of my peeves. Like, I hate walking away from a conversation and thinking, oh, that person didn't get me. And I feel responsible for what they understand of me or what they see me as and anything like that. And it's maybe because I've not been clear in my language or clear in my communication. So yeah, to speak about your mental health and to pinpoint why it is you feel a certain way. I'm a voice note girl. I mean, these voice notes on WhatsApp, they'll be doing podcast energy. So, and it's good. I'm very much like, this is how I'm feeling because boo, 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 boo. So yeah, especially in the job or the industry I work in, it's competitive, it's quick, it's
fast-paced.
Very fast-paced. And I think last year, I hosted a platform called Too Much Sauce, and last year's the theme was rest. And how radical it is to rest. And obviously that overlaps with mental health, because if your body's tired, your physical health needs to be looked after, as does your mental and your mental health. So I got into a good habit last year of taking a break, taking a rest, top and tail of whatever project I was doing. So I'd go away for a week or put whatever down for a week to feel refreshed to go into whatever. And then after it's done, have something in the diary booked in to be like, I'm looking forward to this, because inevitably things will get stressful when you're working, to look forward. So I think rest and mental health for me has gone so hand in hand. You start kicking yourself thinking, what was I doing? Why was I not doing this before? So yeah, within faith, we call it Sabbath, don't we? We take a rest on Sabbath. And so Sunday's my day. I try not to work on Sundays. I try to leave Sunday as free as possible. I'm covering shouts to Fee Mac, I'm covering Fee because she covered me. But other than that, I really, really try to keep the discipline of keeping the Sabbath and keeping it free. And I think, yeah, culture sometimes doesn't honour that or doesn't leave room for it. You have to be intentional about your rest. And so whilst I'm trying to be booked and busy and whatever, I'm trying to be very intentional about my out of office. Don't hit me up, this is my time to rest. So it always feeds back, doesn't it? It makes you more productive, more sharper to just go into whatever you're doing. So yeah.
I love that. And we will put the emotional wheel in the description.
Yes, I will find it in one group chat. I'll be like, it's here. So
have you ever struggled with your mental health?
Yeah, I think so. I think we all do. But yeah, let me just speak on my behalf. Just struggling to say no, struggling to say that's not cool. So especially with jobs, especially as a freelancer or someone who used the Last Supper Club. Oh my gosh, the Last Supper Club, you're cooking for about 30 people strong. And then you've got to do the post edit. You've got to do the thumbnail. You've got to do the description and the title of the episode and go and watch the episode. And yeah, it's like your baby. You can't just put it down. You need to be constantly on. And so just mentally, I just had a moment. Poor Chico, I love you, babes. I was like, I can't cope. You know that Ian Bill meme? I've got nothing left. I literally just was dropping the ball. Things I'd be sharp on, people's birthdays, Sundays. I forget that I'm meant to be here when I just knew that I had crammed too much into my head in a short space of time, and I just wasn't operating or functioning the way I like to do. So, yeah, just being able to admit that and apologize for that and put your hands up and say, oh, I've fallen into that trap, and I need to reel it back and say no again, because I'm only one person and I've only got a set amount of hours in the day, and if I can't do it, it's not because I'm bad mind, it's because I can't, you know? And I think when I've done that, it's good to reset yourself and just be honest and just realise I'm not Superman, I'm not Superwoman, or I'm not... by God's grace alone. So yeah, like definitely have struggled in the big projects where there's a lot of learning and a lot of first time. Like, I've never done a supper club before, never done a YouTube series before. So yeah, be kind to yourself, Swaz. Like, typical me. I'll shoot something, we'll have it out by Friday. Swaz, slow it down. Do you know, why are you giving yourself such a short deadline? Because I'm excited and I want it to, but actually it's not realistic and it's not kind. So, you know, just take that time for yourself and know that it will be okay if it comes out 2 weeks later. But isn't that the world? Isn't that the world to be like, you got to show everyone what you're doing now, because if you show it any later, it's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. Like, you set your own time frame. So, yeah, my mental was difficult, but yeah.
I love how you said about saying no. I think everyone struggles with boundaries. Even I struggle with boundaries.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes it gets very difficult to say no. Or how do I say no? Or how can I say no in an appropriate way when people want to judge me? So for yourself then, how do you say no? So when you're getting projects come at you and you need to rest, you need to pause, how would you say no? Because people in that creative space, I know this is something that many people would experience, not knowing how to say no or feeling bad about themselves for saying no. So how would you
say no? Ooh, N-O, no, I'm joking. It's not, if only if it was as easy as no. I, by God's grace, have been hosting a Bible study on Zoom since the pandemic. So every Monday, 7:30, boom, that was us. So we went through one Easter series. Actually, this year, Easter will mark 3 years since we were doing an online Bible study. And some of us are like, yeah, we're at churches, we out here. Other of us are like, I'm not at a church, I don't even know who Jesus is, but he's got some cool stuff to say, I want to know more. So that was the setup of the group. But every Monday at 7:30, if anything ever came in, it was a straight no, because I'm prepping for this study, I'm prepping to see the gang, and that was my Sabbath of Sabbaths. Like, that was the extra bonus Sabbath in the week that I was like, that time is sacred to me, because I get to catch up with my people, I get to touch base and see what's going on. Yeah, we can read the Bible and see what we're saying, but actually, just meeting with friends, and it was online and the pandemic was hard, so to carve out that time was really, really precious to me. So nothing ever interfered. And you know what's so funny? Nothing ever actually did interfere. No work came on a Monday evening from 7:30 to 10. Look at that. The Lord said, don't worry, I won't even let you say no, because there's nothing to say no to. So I said, thank you, Lord. There was a couple of things, but on the whole, Mondays were great. I'm being terrible at this at the moment, but every second Sunday of the month, I do a goals link up. So some of the gang from Monday nights or other friends, we go to VAPS. I'm obsessed with VAPS. Oh my gosh, sponsor me. Vapianos, we'd go there after church we'd go there after church, 2:00, and we'd go through our goals. We'd have like 8 categories. I'd set 8 categories. The aim is to do 2 goals for each category, and each month, how it works is you're meant to focus on one goal so that the next time we meet on the second Sunday of the month, you're meant to say, tick, I've done this, or I've made progress to this, or whatever it is. So Monday nights, second Sunday, I find that if I'm not putting things in the diary, my diary is free for all. What reason do I have to say no? Oh, I've got reasons to say no to, because I've booked time in with people and with family, and I've carved space out that you can't just mess about with me. I know where I am. And I think as a just in the freelance world, man, you ain't got no routine. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm doing 9 to 5. I think I need routine to know where I am. So yeah, saying no doesn't need to be hard, I've realized, because it's about being faithful to the commitments you've made in your week and in your month, and to the people you've said, I'm going to be there at this time, at this place. And even if something comes up, you know I'm going to be here. So I think, yeah, being faithful to the commitments helps you to say no a lot of the time. And it actually lets the other person be like, wow, like, that's really cool, you know? Like, I'm not even mad that you've said no. Like, why don't we reschedule? Why don't we do it the next? And I'm like, look at that. As if that time and space was the only ever time you could have done it. They're willing to reschedule and bend stuff so that you can make it. So, yeah, honour people, honour your commitments, be intentional with your rest and linking up with your gang. Otherwise, life will just pass you by and you don't even know what day of the week it is. So
I love that. And one thing that comes to mind when you're saying that was let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Amen.
And it's like you've almost you've got your days where it's sacred to you.
Yeah.
And you know you've got people relying on you, but you're also relying on yourself. And so, no, I've got this plan, I always do this, can we rearrange? And I guess that gives you confidence in your no.
Yeah.
So I guess when we're not confident in our no,
it's true.
When we can get swayed and people can kind of say, oh no, just do it.
Yeah.
But if we know, you know what, I do this on this day, I'm going to have to pass. You just get confident with it.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
Absolutely. Like, it could be anything. It doesn't need to be Monday nights. It could be your gym class. It could be dinner with the fam. It could be whatever it is. But when you're confident that I'm meant to be here, oh my gosh, your mindset changes, you know. You almost look forward to saying yes or no to something because you're like, I know that this is in place and I know that's important. So, yeah, making sure that the week is full of moments where you've got things booked in and scheduled and committed to, has helped me to say no.
I love that. And also as a freelancer as well, you know, as you said, you don't work 9 to 5, so you haven't got that kind of block filled doing stuff. You have to kind of know how to rearrange your diary and kind of ensure that you have space for yourself, space for business, and kind of work with what you have.
That is one thing that I do struggle with on a personal tip. Like I struggle booking something in the view that it might clash with something, even though that something doesn't even exist yet. I hate when someone's like, I want this date, and I'm like, cool, and then something else is on the same day, and I think, I just hate clashes. I hate them. But how can something clash unless you said yes to something already? So, yeah, I think as a freelancer, I've learned you can pick up, like, some weeks will be back to back to back to back to back. Other weeks will be really, really quiet. And I think some of it is out of your control because you're not in control of what work will come up when. But other things are like, some stuff that from the pandemic has meant things have stayed online. So I record a show for Channel 4 or E4, a music show, and that's stayed online since the pandemic. And I'm grateful for those guys because they could be saying, you got to come back into the studio now, you got to record here. But they're understanding that, you know, we're all freelancing, we've all got commitments and whatever, so some jobs have stayed online. So if I knew this in year 11, man, I did not know nothing about no freelancing or whatever, but I love my job. I love freelancing. I can't even think of anything outside. I couldn't go back into a job where I'm in the same place at the same time. I was hosting badminton for the Commonwealth Games just gone, and I loved it, but I was like, right, I'm really here in the same sports hall for 2 weeks, you know. And it was cool, but I was like, another 2 weeks would have killed me straight. You know, I couldn't have done it again and again. So I think I'm wired where I enjoy the flexibility, but the diverse of jobs and different people and all of that. Although it gets to Christmas and you ain't got no Christmas staff team. Although now I have with one extra, but before, you ain't got the usual like office crew parties and your base, you know. So I do envy that about those who work at a place, you know, regularly. But for the most part, freelance is life, man.
Yeah, I love that. And being a freelancer, managing your mental health, managing your day-to-day must be quite difficult, as you've mentioned before.
Yeah.
In what ways, how do you take care of your mental health? What type of things are you doing to ensure you're putting your self-care first as a freelancer?
As a freelancer, I think Mondays are my admin days. Okay. So again, just like blocking in time. So I'll do breakfast on a Saturday. I know where I am between the hours of 4:30 in the morning straight through to like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. One extra, you got my heart. Like that's where I am. So usually that sets me in the weekend for like, I might have an evening event, and then church on Sundays. So usually weekends are quite full on and quite packed. So the last thing I want to do on a Monday is be up at 9 and to be somewhere. I'm like, okay, Mondays then are the admin day. Send that invoice, Swars. Follow up this meeting, follow up that, because you're always on the go, whether it's jobs that are being booked in by companies and clients or your own stuff, supper club, too much sauce, you're thinking about your own initiatives. So Monday is a good home day. And I've learned that myself. I'm a homebody, you know, since the pandemic. I can live in my onesie and my cup of tea and just have one nice top on for the Zoom call and be in my slippers and socks for the rest of the day. So I've learned that about myself. Whereas before, I couldn't wait to get out of the house. I was out. But the pandemic taught me to slow down and to bake or to cook or to watch one film on Netflix that everyone is chatting about. I used to feel guilty for watching stuff because I'd think, I'm not doing something productive. Like, I'm not on it. Do you know what I mean? But now, not at all. Like, I enjoy, if you find a good series, why? That's me for the weekend, you know? Like, I'm locked in. So, yeah, the rat race is real. And I think there's pros to it because we're all trying to work and do whatever, and some part of the job just calls for that. But equally, I think, prayer is a massive, massive thing. On a Monday, if I can just set Jesus says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened. You lot that have got packed schedules. You lot that are burdened by your 9-to-5 life, your freelancer, whatever that is stressing you out, come to me and I will give you rest. And literally in the next chapter, these Pharisees are out here being like, oh, on the Sabbath, you need to do boom, 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 boom. And Jesus has literally just been like, my guy, I've told you, come to me. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. I don't put extra rules on it. It's meant to be light. And so on the last Monday just gone, my question was, what things have people or church or your company made tricky that is actually meant to be easy? You know that invoice that you just need to send one time? Oh, you need to email Becky from such and such, and Becky needs to email da-da-da-da. And it's like, it don't need to be that hard, my guy. Like, it can just be straightforward. So I say that to say, when Jesus says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, I will give you rest. Rest was my word, but I'm so restless sometimes. When can I just sit and be? And so Mondays are my days to just sit and be, just soak up whatever the last weekend's happened or the last week, or catch up with myself. Because if I'm always chasing my tail, I will never feel like I'm set, I'm ready to go. So yeah, Mondays is actually my Jesus day, which is wild. I'm really learning on this pod that Mondays are my carved out day. But yeah, I appreciate freelancing with Jesus. I appreciate checking with him and being like, yo, Lord, should I do this? Should I do that? Is this good? Is it not? Something's come up recently where it ties in with the king's coronation. I don't really know how I feel about the king. I said no to it. I turned down money for it because I couldn't do it in good faith or in good conscience that I would be there to be wholehearted in that, and I wouldn't want to do a job half-hearted. So I said this opportunity would probably be best to go with someone who isn't warring in their mind about this event. And so I passed it up, and I was like, oh, I got bills to pay, but the Lord, I just went for the Lord, and he was like, no, it's okay, let that one go. If you're not centered on that, that's cool. So I said no, but that came from resting in the Lord first, rather than blitzing through emails and thinking, oh, should I not? So yeah, faith is very much intertwined in my self-care. And I'm learning, I'm still doing it all, but I don't know what I would do without prayer, I can't believe I am now saying that. When you hear the elders say that and you're like, right, I clock you, you were onto it. So yeah, Jesus says, come to me, ask and seek and knock and it will be given to you. What is it I'm lacking? What do I lack that I couldn't just say to him, Lord, I'm struggling with this, or I need this to do this. And honestly, even the Last Supper Club, I said, Lord, if you don't want me to do this, that's cool, but if you do, show me one door. He's now leading me to Dot, who's the Christian, who's like, can we pray about this? I said, one prayer. Look at me, no stress, one prayer. So, I love it. Yeah.
Sis, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Don't forget me for the Last Supper.
No.
I have to talk about Bible and let's talk. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. No, you're so sick, man. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you.